Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here, trading the 3-game CSGO main slate on Thursday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos breaking down NBA, NFL, and esports daily fantasy sports slates. Esports including Call of Duty, League of Legends, and this one, Counter-Strike CSGO. So with that out of the way, let's jump into the video. Also, before we get into it, I just want to say thank you guys all so much for all the support. I really do appreciate it. And also, let me know if you guys like my kind of look back on the previous slate and kind of give you my thought process and why I went a certain direction for the main late slate showdown slates. Let me know if you guys like that, because I've been doing that for a long time now at the beginning of my videos. But let me know if that's something you guys enjoy. So yeah, before we get into players and their prices, let's take a look back at my lineups here from Wednesday. So Wednesday, they have not paid out the contest yet, but it was a decent day for me. Now, I cashed in 4 out of 5 of my tournaments and made a grand total of $2. Yep. The min cashing in tournaments just feels like the money keeps going lower and lower, right, in this. This was a $10 tournament. I min cash 15. I think this was a $15 tournament. Min cash was 20. This was a $33 tournament. Min cash was 50. I think again this was 10 and that was 15. And then the one I slightly missed on was the $33. So yeah, it's really hard to grind out a profit if you're just playing GPPs like myself on Draftkings. You really do have to either win at a very consistent level, or you need to get lucky and win one of those tournaments every once in a while. Now, if you're playing cash games, right, it's a different story. You can kind of grind it out. But yeah, GPPs, like I said, it is tough to really grind out a profit consistently if you don't win big in like one of those tournaments. But yeah, let's now take a look at my lineup here. So this was my main slate lineup. So I mentioned that there were so many stars I wanted to get to on the slate that throwing someone cheap like a BMAS in the captain spot was something I was definitely considering, and that's the way I went. So threw him in the captain spot with Breeze, Ethan, Nico, Simple, and Zywoo. So, the FaZe guys, it was a 2-0. It was close games, but they did end up winning 2-0. So that's what I was hoping for BMAS, right? He's not a guy that's going to put up big numbers, but at a 4.4K price point, if you get that plus 20 for the sweep, that's huge. Ended up getting that. Breeze and Ethan were solid. Ethan was a guy I mentioned I liked because I knew he's going to be low owned. After having, I mentioned he went minus 29, negative 29 the game before. And we saw it in ownership, right? He was only 13% owned. That was actually a little bit higher than I thought. But, yeah, I went back there because I knew he was going to be lower owned. He went back in a big way, put up 72 fancy points. Nico was obviously really good. He was one of the best plays of the slate. Simple was a little bit of a letdown. Now, he's on the next slate, and his price has dropped. I'll talk about it in a bit. I love Simple. I think he's going to be really chalky on the slate tomorrow. And then Zywoo. That was another strategy I mentioned, was pairing those two together because both those guys kind of really carry the rosters. Now, Zywoo definitely carried the load, but Simple, on the other hand, wasn't great, right? We had Electronic really step up. Boomage had a good game. So we had more of a balanced approach there for Navi, which is something we don't normally see. And then let's see. We can go back and review my let's review my late slate lineup, which was, where is it? Is it this one? Yeah, it was this one. Okay. So if it loads. So if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, it's important to do so. I tweeted out some interesting stats from the main slate. You had, a lot of the FaZe guys, like Nico, I think was like 55%. Cold Zero was above 50%. BMAS was like 36%. And those Fnatic guys were like all under 15% owned. So in a game that I thought could have went either way, I'm going to take the lower owned guys all day for the later slate. Again, use the ownership to your advantage, guys. When they give it to you, like for the all day slate, you can use that to your advantage for the late slate. Now, sure, the ownership went up a little bit on those Fnatic guys, but there's less teams to choose from, right? There's only 2 games instead of 3. So I rolled with Crims and Brolon. No, they were decent, actually. They got 2-0'd, but Crims had a really solid day. Put up 111 in the captain spot. For getting 2-0'd is pretty impressive. Brolon was solid, right? Not great. And then paired them with Nico and the EG guys with Breeze, Tariq, and Stanislaw. I mentioned Tariq and Stanislaw being, cheap options. I was considering like BMAS, right? So those guys were both solid too, right? Tariq 53, Stanislaw 49. They were both low 5Ks. You'll take that. So all in all, cashed in the main slate, cashed or half cash in the late slate. In the $10 entry, I cashed in the $33 entry. I just missed. I missed by 2 points in the late slate $33 tournament. Where was the cash at? I was at 404. I think cash was at 407. Yeah, so I missed by like 2 points. So a little bit disappointing there, but all in all, still walked away with a profit. Only a $2 profit, but I will take that. I guess the key takeaway for me is, again, use that ownership to your advantage in the main slate, right? If you see a big edge, something like I saw in the FaZe Fnatic game, right? And a game I thought could go either way, I'm going to take that lower owned team all day if it's going to be like that drastic in ownership. Now, sure, it didn't necessarily work out for me because FaZe won 2-0, but that's just, again, something I wanted to bring up for take advantage of those ownership numbers coming out for the all day slate. So, all right, enough talking about the slate for today or for Wednesday. Let's now move on to Thursday's slate. So we have 3 games once again. We have Vitality versus Ninjas in Pajamas. Vitality are slight favorites at -155. Na'Vi versus Ennis. Na'Vi are -180 favorites. Actually, the biggest favorites of the day. And then 100 Thieves and Cloud9. 100 Thieves are slight favorites. They're at -140. So let's first talk about this Ninjas in Pajamas team. Looking at their numbers, they are a pretty balanced roster. If you just scroll through everyone, they did just pick up Hampus for the roster for Lurko. He has decent numbers, but it's going to be interesting to see how he works out with this team. Again, Twist is positive, KD, Rez positive, Plopsky has the best overall numbers, 0.74 kills round, 0.63 deaths round. Nock is positive, Hampus positive as well. So, the issue here is they're a little bit more of a balanced team compared to, on the opposite side, Vitality, not so much, right? We know Zywoo really does carry that roster. So the price points on these Ninjas in Pajamas guys aren't great. Now, definitely my favorite play is Plopsky at 8.4K. I think he's going to be the most popular of this bunch for sure. Again, just looking at the overall numbers and watching him play, he's the guy that does have the most upside. And again, I guess, only the second most expensive guy on the team. So yeah, with the other guys, with Nock, Rez, Twist, Hampus, I'm not huge on their price points today. Nothing really stands out there unless I wanted to go a full Ninjas in Pajamas stack and think that they win like 2-0, which is always possible. Again, I think that's more of a contrarian build. So if we're just talking about a cash game setting, besides Plopsky, I don't know if we get to anyone else on this roster for their prices. Let's talk about Vitality now. So Vitality, I really like Zywoo at 9K. He's going to be much more popular on this slate today than he was in the slate for Wednesday. Wednesday's slate, he was only like 35% owned in that $33 tournament. A little bit surprising, but again, they were underdogs. And once you get to those higher dollar tournaments, you just see the favorites are much higher owned. But you can always get an edge if you think the underdog can pull it off, right? You can get a huge edge there. Now, Zywoo, right? I think he needs to be a lot more popular on this slate, especially after having a good day today. He had 84 fantasy points. They don't have it up right now, but yeah, he had a really, really good day. Sorry about that. Realized I did not want to close out of this. So, yeah, again, if we're looking at Vitality's numbers from the game today, more like we expected, right? Zywoo went plus 16. Everyone else went negative. So I do really like Zywoo. I think he's be really popular today, but the price has dropped a little bit. Yeah, he's one of my favorite plays of the day. Everyone else on the team, it's just I don't feel comfortable with anyone, to be honest. With Shocks, Apex, Mistu, RPK, I really don't feel good about any of these guys. I mentioned my next favorite play would be RPK on the last slate because he was so cheap. He was decent, 49 and 53 for his price. I would probably mention him, I guess, just because of the price point, but there's just nothing I feel confident about watching this team. It's just, I don't feel good about anyone else, to be honest. So really, I'm considering Zaiwu there, and don't really like the value on the rest of Vitality there. So let's now move on to Ennis versus Na'Vi. We have Na'Vi minus 180 favorites. I think Na'Vi is going to be very, very popular today. Like, this is going to be some extreme chalk, especially Simple. Now, I love him. I know he had a off day for Simple, right? If we look at back their numbers, Electronic went plus 14, Boomage plus 8, Simple only went plus 6. So it was more of a balanced attack. But yeah, Simple's price dropped. He was over 10K. Now he's 9.4K. I know he's going to be really popular, but I'm going to be eating the chalk. It's just too good of a play. He had a subpar game today. I think he could bounce back in a big way, maybe get you 90, 100 fantasy points. So I love Simple. He's probably my favorite play of the day. Again, I know he's going to be super popular, but I'm going to be eating the chalk there. The other guys, I also think are going to be pretty popular. I think Electronic, who was about 50% owned in the $33 tournament, is once again going to be popular, if not even more popular, especially after that big day, right? He had a really good day. I think he put up 77 fantasy points overall, and he went plus 14, and they're favorites. So Electronic is a guy that I think will probably be above 50% owned once you start getting to those higher dollar tournaments. So yeah, he's someone that I'm very much considering. I still like him. Under 7K for a guy that, if we're looking at his historical numbers, he has good numbers. 0.71 kills per round, 0.63 deaths per round. Rarely you're going to get a guy below 7K that are favorites with that good of a KD. So Electronic does really stand out. I like pairing him with Simple. I think for like a cash game setting, if I was playing cash games tomorrow, I would start my lineup with Simple and Electronic. Now, again, GPPs, you can go completely different ways, but I really like those two. I think Simple is very underpriced. Electronic is once again underpriced. I know both those guys are going to be popular, but I like both those guys a lot. Now the other value plays with Boomage, Perfecto, and Flamey. I think my next favorite play here is Boomage. He's been pretty consistent. They don't have that most recent game up, but I think he had like 77 fantasy points. He had a really, really good day. And before that, 50, 57, 48, 56. He's putting up some decent numbers. 5.4K. I think he's another guy that's going to be somewhat popular. Not as popular, obviously, as Simple and Electronic, but I think because of that big game today, Boomage will get some ownership. Where's Na'Vi? Yeah, again, 0.62 kills per round, 0.69 deaths per round. Not great, but if you're getting to a guy like Boomage, you are kind of hoping for a 2-0 because rarely are you going to get a big game from him like you saw today where it didn't go 2-0. Again, he had 77 today. That's more of an outlier. I would not expect that again from him. If you are going him, right? If you are going that Na'Vi stack, you are kind of hoping for the 2-0. Perfecto at 5.2K, again, is kind of a cross-off. Flamey is so up and down. I think he finishes like 15 or 20 fantasy points. But he can have good games, right? He's had an 88 fantasy point game. He's had a 70 fantasy point game in there. He has a really low floor. So he's someone that only for GPPs for me. That's basically it, right? We know he does have some upside games on him. Doesn't have great numbers overall either, but 0.58 kills around 0.64 deaths per round. Not great, but a really cheap price point. So wrapping up Na'Vi, I think this is the team that's going to be the most popular on the slate. Simple and Electronic, I like both those guys a lot for their price points. And then the value, I think Boomage would probably be my favorite option if you're shooting for a really risky low-owned play that can have upside. Flamey, again, Perfecto is probably a guy I don't get to at all. Now let's talk about the Ennis side. So this is a team that is going to be super contrarian tomorrow. Not just because they're underdogs, but because of the price points on these guys. Alu is 10K. It makes it hard for me as a single entry guy to prioritize him over Simple when you're going to have to pay $600 more or $1,000 more than Zaiwu. So Alu is a guy strictly just a low-owned contrarian option for me. Now he has good numbers, right? If we look at Alu's numbers, 0.75 kills per round, 0.61 deaths per round. So those aren't bad. They're not as good as Zywoo or Simple, and you're also going to have to pay more for him. So that's why he's more of just a contrarian option. Now, Na'Vi as a team is a team that is, their gameplay is so up and down. We've seen them get 2-0'd by really bad teams, and Ennis is not a bad team. So if you want to go the route that you think Na'Vi kind of lays an egg, maybe gets 2-0'd, and you want to get away from those chalky guys like Simple, like Electronic, then I could see going to a guy like Alu and maybe pairing him with someone else in this roster. That would be the only way I would do it. I think I would only get there, though, if I'm making multiple lineups. Again, personally, I only make one lineup, so I don't see myself getting to him. He's more of just a contrarian one-off play. The other guys in the roster, nothing really stands out. If we're looking at like Ariel, Sergey, Sunny, they did just add Jumpy to the roster, so it's going to be interesting to see how he kind of plays with the team. But, again, Sunny about a 1.0, Katie, Sergey about the same, Ariel about the same. So nothing really stands out there, and they're all decently priced, right? So, I mean, I guess I would probably say Sunny for his price point since he's the cheapest, or Ariel. But these are all guys that are just going to be low-owned. They're just contrarian options. Again, Na'Vi is going to be the ultimate chalk today. If you want to get away from that and leverage some ownership, and you think Ennis can pull this one off, then by all means, go for Alu and pair him with someone else here. Because if they can pull off that upset, you're going to be in amazing shape. Like I said, I think Simple, Electronic are going to be two of the chalkiest, if not the chalkiest plays of the day tomorrow. Lastly, we have C9 versus 100 Thieves. Another game, basically a toss-up right now. We have 100 Thieves, slight favorites there at minus 145. If we look at the history between these two teams, 100 Thieves have actually won. They have 4-0 map count to Cloud9. So I think people will look at that. I think people look at the odds. 100 Thieves are favorites. I think 100 Thieves are going to be more popular than Cloud9. I don't know if that's necessarily right. Cloud9 has really been clicking on all cylinders, and there's a team that, I always talk about like Mouse Esports is a team that always lets me down. I feel like Cloud9 is a team that always comes through for me, especially Floppy. Let's talk about the price points now for these C9 guys. We have Floppy at 7.8, OC at 7.2, Sonic at 6.4, MOTM or Modem at 6.2, JT at 4.4. So JT is a guy that I basically cross off. He just does not have good enough numbers for me to consider him, even at that price, 0.55, kills around 0.68, deaths per round. He's used a lot more as bait. So even at that price point, I don't think I want to do it. But Floppy is once again one of my favorite plays at 7.8K. I've been playing this guy basically every single slate. I like him a lot once again. They don't have that most recent game up there, but he had a really solid day. I think he had like 70 or 80 fancy points. Yeah, Floppy is a guy that, again, I've been playing a lot of. I really like him. He has great overall numbers, 2.74 kills per round, 0.66 deaths per round for his price. So he's one of my favorite plays once again. OC at 7.2. I kind of like pairing him with Floppy. If this Cloud9 route is the way you want to go, right, you're getting the top two guys at both pretty decent price points at 7.8 and 7.2K. These are the two guys that do kind of carry the load. Now, we can see decent games from Sonic and MOTM here and there. And that's why I think those two guys are in play as well. OC, just wanted to mention, he is the guy that uses the AWP, which is always a plus, right, using the most powerful weapon. Sonic and MOTM, again, these are two guys that have flash upside too. They have decent overall numbers. MOTM, 0.7 kills per round, 0.66 deaths per round. Sonic at 0.67 and 0.64 deaths per round. So I think I would slightly prefer MOTM. I usually always go MOTM over Sonic, and he's $200 less. So all in all, C9 is a team I like a lot. I think they're going to be a little bit lower owned just because 100 Thieves have won the last few times they've played, and that's, again, C9 are underdogs. But I kind of am leaning towards the C9 side. They seem to always come through for me. And Floppy, OC, they've really, really been playing well together. So I like the C9 side. That's kind of where I'm taking a stand on this slate. On the 100 Thieves side, if you want to go this route, I think these guys are also priced pretty good. And this is, again, the late game. I think this is the pivotal game to get right because we have everyone in this game is under 8K. So you get this game right and you get your team 2-0s, you're going to be in amazing shape. On the 100 Thieves side, if we're talking about players and their prices, once again, my favorite plays are JKS and Jakeem. JKS price, I mean, that's just too cheap. 7.4K. He had a great game there against Gen G. Jakeem, also really solid day, had 73 fancy points. If we're looking at their historical numbers for the last 3 months, JKS is the best overall numbers, 0.71 kills per round, 0.58 deaths per round. Jakeem isn't bad, right? 0.71 kills per round, 0.70 deaths per round. It's a little bit more of an aggressive player. AZR, Elias, don't think I want to consider those guys in this slate. Gratisfaction is viable as well. He has 0.69 kills per round, 0.65 deaths per round. He just, I think he's going to be a little bit lower owned because of the price point. So, yeah, this 100 Thieves side, if you want to go this route, again, personally, I'm going to go C9. I think I'm going to be lower owned. I think I like that side a little bit better. But if you want to go this 100 Thieves side, it would be JKS and Jakeem as my favorite plays. Gratisfaction, I think he's going to be a little bit lower owned. AZR and Elias, I don't think we have to consider those guys on this one. All right, let's now talk about captains and who I'm kind of considering. So if we're talking just a cash game setting, I think, honestly, there's only 3 guys I would consider for captain spot. Really, I really think there's only 3 guys you should consider if you're playing captain spot. If you're playing cash games tomorrow, it would be Zywoo or Simple and Electronic. That's it. I think those are the only guys I would consider for captain tomorrow if you're playing cash games. Now for GPPs, right, there's a lot of different ways you can go. The Vitality team, or not the Vitality team, the Ninjas in Pajamas team, the reason I'm not super high on these guys is they're just a more balanced team, right? So in a game where Vitality wins 2-0, we know more than likely it's going to be because of Zywoo. Ninjas in Pajamas, it really could be anyone. Again, we went over their numbers, all have above 1.0 KDs. Now, again, I would prefer Plopsy as the best overall numbers, but you could see Ninjas in Pajamas win 2-0 and Plopsy not have a great day. That's why I feel a little bit more confident targeting a guy like Zywoo. That's why I think, again, Zywoo for captain, and then Simple and Electronic if we're just talking about cash games. Alu's, again, strictly a contrarian, low-owned play. He's going to be super low-owned for that price. But, they could pull off that upset if they do, right? Again, these Navi guys are going to be the chalk. If they can pull off that upset and you go that NS route, you're going to be in amazing shape. Again, I personally prefer the C9 side to 100 Thieves. I think it will be a close game, but I think the ownership will be lower on those guys, so I'm going to give the edge to the C9 guys over the 100 Thieves guys. So, again, I really like Floppy, OC as well. They've been playing really well. If you want to go that 100 Thieves right, it would be JKS. Probably for me. And then again, Electronic, he's going to be very, very popular after having a good day today. His price point not moving and them being favorites. He's probably, him and Simple, again, are going to be the ultimate chalk. The rest of the guys, Vitality, I just don't have a great feel. If you want to pair someone with Zywoo, you can, but it's more of a shot in the dark for me. They're all negative KDs. It's just, again, you can do it. It's just, I don't feel great about any of them. Again, Jakeem, I think he's him and JKS are my favorite plays on the 100 Thieves side if you want to go that route. And I think you can, because everyone in that game is so cheap, I think you can play, maybe one player from one side and one from the other if you wanted to, right? If you want to play like Floppy or JKS. The price points of these guys look really good. So I think that is a viable build as well if you kind of want to differentiate yourself for tournaments, right? Normally we see kind of a 2-2-2 stack or a 3-2-1 stack or a 3-3 stack. But if you go like a 2-2-1-1 stack, then I think, again, that will kind of differentiate yourself a little bit in tournaments. Again, MOTM, I mentioned him. I like him over Sonic. Both those guys can have upside. And then, we're into the really cheap options. A guy like Boomwitch, I think is going to be pretty popular, but he's been consistent recently and had a big game today, so I think he's going to be one of the more popular value plays. Yeah, I think that really wraps it up for the breakdown, guys. So again, I mentioned at the beginning of the video, but if you guys kind of enjoy the look back of my lineup and my thought process of it at the beginning of the video, let me know. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for the video, guys. So if you haven't enjoyed the content so far, I really appreciate it if you could like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. We are at 3.25 thousand subscribers. So again, thank you guys for all the support, and I will see you guys all in the next video.